Tonight, with John Mahama set to address the nation over fears of a plot to rig the December elections, we hear from President Akufo-Addo, who is promising the international community the polls in December will be free and fair.
We have to work together to ensure that the elections will be transparent, free, fair, safe, and credible. We are keenly aware of the reputation that Ghana has built as a tolerant and working democracy, and we have every intention to nurture and improve upon it.
The Electoral Commission has just meanwhile called an IPAC meeting in an attempt to address concerns that compel John Mahama and his running mate to suspend their campaigns. And top stories always brought to you by Gassim Cement, the nation builder, and Vodafone. The future is exciting already. With just 75 days to December 7 polls, the political climate is heating up after both John Mahama and his running mate yesterday suspended their campaigns over concerns regarding the ongoing exhibition of the voters' register. Tonight we are learning the leader of the NDC will be addressing a news conference tomorrow on the issues. Now, Mr. Mahama had yesterday called on the international community to intervene to avert a political crisis.
There's so much wrong going on. The incompetence of this electoral commission is legendary. We have held elections in this country. We have held voters' registrations in this country. But we've never seen a situation where there's so much chaos and disorder in an electoral process. It has the potential to create crisis in our country. And that is why at a point when I spoke, I said that the Electoral Commission should be prepared to take the blame if this country descends into chaos. And they dismissed me. Today we don't know if we're going to have a credible register because we're not confident in the process that is going on. There's too much anarchy and disorder. We are not sure that we can have a credible register with which to have a free, fair, and transparent election. And therefore, because of the seriousness of the reports I'm receiving from my elections directorate, I've decided to curtail my campaign in the Bono region at this point and go back to Accra to ascertain and verify the reports and to make the views of our party known to Ghana and the rest of the world. As things are going, we are not comfortable with the process leading to the election. And we call on the international community to take an interest in what is happening in Ghana. We want electoral observers to come long in advance. International election observers must be deployed long in advance to supervise the electoral process going into the election. We will make a major statement on this matter in due course, very soon. But in the meantime, I'll suspend the campaign in the Bono region. There are several constituencies that we're expecting us today and tomorrow and the day after. I wish to apologize to them. As soon as this matter is addressed in Accra, I'll quickly come back and finish the tour of the Bono region.
Well, a short while ago, the party issued a statement, the NDC, confirming that the flag bearer and his running mate will be tomorrow addressing a news conference on the specific issues of concern to them ahead of the polls on December 7. Well, today, the President Akufo-Addo, has been speaking about the elections today when he took his turn in a virtual meeting of the United Nations General Assembly. The President made a categorical commitment to ensure a peaceful, free and fair elections under his watch.
The political season is at its height here in Ghana as we prepare for presidential and parliamentary elections in December. Like everything else in our world today, even the politicking has been affected by the pandemic, and we cannot campaign for votes in the style to which we are accustomed. We're having to rely on technology to find ways of popularizing our messages in the time of COVID-19. It is a matter of great pride to me that in spite of the difficulties in conducting an election during a pandemic, I'm able to state that all Ghanaians are agreed that we have to work together to ensure that the elections will be transparent, free, fair, safe, and credible. This will be the 8th elections since we embarked on constitutional rule in our Fourth Republic in 1992. Each of the elections has seen an improvement on the previous one, and we're looking forward to this year's passing off peacefully with characteristic Ghanaian dignity. We are keenly aware of the reputation that Ghana has built as a tolerant and working democracy, and we have every intention to nurture and improve upon it. Paramount in everyone's consideration is the Ghana Project, which aims to modernize all aspects of our lives and bring prosperity to our land. I have no doubts whatever that at the end of the elections, we shall be proud of ourselves, Africa will have good cause to be proud of us, and the rest of the world will find lessons to learn from us.
So you had the president's commitment to ensure there is a free, fair elections this year. Just a short while ago, on the back of the president's assurance to the United Nations General Assembly addressing the world, the Electoral Commission has also now sent out invitations to the political parties and other stakeholders to be part of an IPAC meeting, an Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting tomorrow, following all the concerns that have been raised, particularly by the NDC, that, as you know by now, had compelled the flag bearer and the running mate to suspend their campaign. So that meeting is coming up tomorrow. We expect that it's going to address, and from what our sources at the EC tell us, it's going to address some of the key issues that had come up as a result of the exhibition of the voters register, particularly the video that you've seen circulating as well, that the EC has responded to, denying that it's a plot to somehow rig the elections, but rather part of a plan to fix the challenges which the exhibition had brought forth. So that is what is going to happen tomorrow as the EC itself attempts to deal with the concerns that have been raised. I want to go now to the Jubilee House right now, bring in my presidential correspondent, Elton Brobe, who was today following closely the address to the UN General Assembly by the President, stating and detailing his commitment to ensure free, fair elections. Also joining me is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Peter Bomo Tokuno, who will also be speaking to the Director of Elections of the MPP today. And here from Kudeo, they've been monitoring the exhibition process, indicating that their report shows that there's a general apathy in terms of people's willingness to participate in the process. A bit of that later. Elting, so what more do we know today on the back of the assurance that the President gave to the international community about this commitment to ensure free and fair elections? What more are you learning?
So, Evans, from what the President told the international community, he actually spoke for close to 11 minutes, and he touched on COVID-19, the need for the world leaders to make vaccine that they are in search for available for the rich and poor. He also spoke about the United Nations and the Security Council and the need for Africa to take their rightful place at the United Nations Security Council, but dedicated 3 minutes of that speech to talk about the upcoming general elections in December, and the fact that since 1992, Ghana has gone through various elections. This December will be the 8th elections under the 4th Republican Constitution, and that since 92 up to this year, 2020, Ghana has learned lessons from each elections. And it is hopeful that the lessons learned so far will put the Electoral Commission in a better position to organize fresh, free, fair, transparent, safe, and credible election. And as a sitting president, his assurance to the international body is that he will supervise an election that will be devoid of politics, that will be devoid of intimidation and harassment, and that people will have the opportunity to choose the government and the members of parliament that they want in December, on December 7th, 2020.
Elton, thank you very much. Let's bring in Peter Tokuno, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Mr. Tokuno, yesterday the President, your leader, John Mahama, raised concerns. He says they don't have confidence in the process. You heard the President now categorically commit to ensuring that there's a free, fair elections in December. That surely must address your concerns, does it?
Certainly not, Ivan. Clearly, it's a very hard-hearted pledge, and it sounds rather more hypocritical and duplicitous, especially considering how the President has conducted himself in relation to the activities of the Electoral Commission, and how the MPs have positioned themselves in all those electoral that we have been talking about over the past 2 years. In actual fact, this is a President who sat aloof and unconcerned when a minister serving in his government pulled out the gun and gave some gunshots at the registration center. He said absolutely nothing, no action was taken. This is the same President who said nothing after a Deputy Regional Minister of the Bogu region, Mr. Otijako, made some very scathing, claims on recorded tape that was leaked, encouraging vigilantes to embark on all the registrations. That anybody who crosses their path, they can even kill the person and name the person, and that they have the system behind them, they have the judicial system, they have the Electoral Commission, they have the security system behind them, so they can do whatever they want. He actually said that when they finish the registration exercise and they realize that the numbers in the NDC strongholds are high, they have an arrangement with the Electoral Commission to delete some of the names to the register. This tape came out, all these things were said. The President said absolutely nothing. So
and is this a verified? Because people things are circulated. I mean, has this been confirmed? That is him. Has been confirmed.
This tape has been confirmed to be the voice of Mr. Otijako, who is the Deputy Regional Minister of the Uno East Region. There has been incontrovertible evidence to support that those actions and those comments that were made on the tape has actually been implemented. We have seen every single statement that was made, acted upon by the MPP vigilantes.
But I'm curious, Peter. I'm curious, Peter. If what you're saying is indeed true, I mean, this is the NDC. You haven't filed a proper report on this for it to be investigated by the state agencies?
Evans, perhaps maybe you have not been in this country, but if you have been in this country, then you would have known that we filed an official report for investigation into the matter. Nothing was done. And what is worse is that when the registration started and they started killing people in the Bono region, they arrest people with weapons. The next day, they are released by the police, which goes to confirm what the Honorable Minister said. He also made claims about the register after it has been compiled. They will delete names. The names are being deleted now. We have the case where assignment 21,000 people have been deleted. We have cases across the country in our strongholds. People have been deleted. A case in point is Akachi South, where 434 people registered and some 400 names got missing. Only 54 were put out. I saw a report on Joy Online that out of all the police stations in the Upper East region, 25 of them, after people had gone there to register, there was nobody on the register. 95 of them, several names have been deleted from the list. And that clearly goes to emphasize for real what Otijako and the NPP have been saying on the sideline.
But Peter, you've been in this political game for a while. I mean, Peter, you know that exhibition processes is in itself is defined as that period where you actually used to spot the challenges and fix them. And so if you're seeing these challenges, it's not the first time an exhibition process will bring up challenges to be fixed. What is really the problem when an exhibition? There's no perfect system of registration. That's why you use the exhibition to fix them.
Evans, I say verily unto you that we have not had this level of chaotic, registration exercise in the political history of this country. Our exhibition that we have seen, in fact, what exhibition is meant for is to correct names, correct date of birth, correct basic error that those data entry clerks were not able to capture very well. It is not to deal with, unusual deletion of names. Absolutely not. In fact, unusual deletion of names has characterized the Mensah administration at the Electoral Commission. You recall in 2019 when some names were missing from the register, they attributed that to the obsoleteness of the current system or the previous system. So that was the basis for calling for a new voter register. Now you are put in a new system, a new voter register, and you are having worst form of those relations. And you come and tell me that they are usual. No, they are not usual. We have not had these instances in the political history of this country.
So you have
what makes it worse, Ivan? What makes it worse is that for the first time we are having only 1 week, 8 days, as an exhibition period for people, 16.9 million people, to go to the registration centers or the polling stations to go and check their names. We have not had this short time in the history of our electoral processes. So what we are saying is that when you have this gravity of problems, you are putting a new system. You are not too sure of the system. You don't even know how the system is working. The system is already giving you problems. We don't put in such short period, for the exhibition exercise.
Well, but Peter, you've heard today. Yesterday, the former president asked the international community to step in. Today, the biggest stage of all, the United Nations General Assembly, the current president has assured the international community that he will ensure free, fair elections. He's putting his own reputation and his own political career on the line in making that assurance to the rest of the world. He's not just saying it internally. He said it on the biggest global stage of all. I mean, why is that not currency to bang on?
This is absolutely no currency to bang on, especially when you look at the track record of the person who's speaking, President Akufo-Addo. In actual fact, since President Akufo-Addo bounced onto the national scene of politics in this country, all the elections that he has contested in his life, he is the factor that makes the difference, that brings chaos into the elections. In 2008, for example, you recall the midnight jurisprudence when they assembled some lawyers to go to court and put a halt on the declaration of the election. You also recall what happened in 2012, and you have seen what he has done under his reign, how he has used the system to his favor, abused the entire system. If President Akufo-Addo is committed to a peaceful election, I am sure that he would have gotten Evans Mensah, whom she appointed, to do the right thing. After all, we have seen how he has dealt with Domelo and the Auditor General's Department. If Evans Mensah is not doing the right thing, I know that the president can speak to it. But you have the case where the president is encouraging the Electoral Commission to do the wrong thing. The Electoral Commission is supposed to be a democratic institution, but this Electoral Commission has acted contrary to the democratic principles of any nature. And I think that is very worrying. This assurance the president gave is not anything to bang on. We cannot rely on his assurances to work on a peaceful election. What we want is transparency. We want honesty from the Electoral Commission. We want, if people have
you ask for transparency. You ask for transparency.
If people have been deleted from the register, or you have duplicate key numbers, or you have duplicate photographs on the register, what stops the Electoral Commission from inviting political?
Yeah, I mean that's my question to you. The Electoral Commission has tomorrow called an IPAC meeting. Will the NDC go?
I mean, it's a completely needless expedition, because you have done the exhibition, you are ending the exhibition tomorrow, and you are calling for a meeting to discuss what? You have printed ID cards for people we do not know. You have printed the ID cards on our blind side. We didn't invite the politicians to tell them that, okay, you want to place this ID card, so bring your agents to witness the process. You have done all that. So what are you calling us for? And this is in the nature of the Electoral Commission.
Okay, but
without any shred of transparency.
Yeah, but Peter, be that is made, they've already called the meeting. Will the NDC go?
Obviously, we have always attended IPAC meetings. We have not missed any IPAC meeting. We will go and we will listen to what the Electoral Commission has to say. But as you have mentioned earlier, tomorrow we will be making a very loud statement. Our flag bearer will be leading the charge to address these issues. We consider these issues very major. We consider them a threat to our democracy, and we will do anything possible to make sure that we protect our fragile young democracy that we have.
Let me bring in your friend, Evans Mensah. He's the Director of Elections for the MPP. Mr. Mensah, thanks for joining us. So today we've heard the President speak to the at the UN General Assembly, assuring that there's going to be free, fair elections. This is coming on a day when the Electoral Commission confirmed that they've called an IPAC meeting tomorrow to discuss the exhibition of the voters' register and the issues that have come up. I'm pretty sure the MPP has received the invitation. Going into the meeting tomorrow, I wonder, on the back of the EC's own statement talking about the ID card duplicator being printed that they're now trying to correct, does the MPP have any concerns about the process going into the meeting tomorrow?
Well, thank you very much. I think that for us as a New Patriotic Party, as you told Mr. Boamo Otokono, exhibition stage post-registration exercise is meant mainly to correct mistakes, challenges, cross the T's and dot the I's. But I'm not surprised about the position of the NDC. They will not change. They will continue to maintain their opposition to an establishment of a credible and robust voter registration system that is credible, that is transparent, and that is free for all reasonable stakeholders. They never liked the very mention of the EC that they were going to put into motion a credible voter management system. They never supported the registration or the creation of a new register for the conduct of the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections. So we are not surprised about this position they have. The exhibition exercise 8 days is meant for people to visit all the 33,367 polling stations. It's not only one polling station that all the 16.9 million people will go to verify their name and cause corrections to be made or otherwise. So that is their position that we can't force them. The issue that they are making, the enough allegations, that for me, the law allows that you can visit and make changes if you so wish. And so if you're saying that somebody's name is not in the register, this is not a final register. We've seen names in 2019 when they used the limited registration exercise. Mr. Amakofi Bua of Elembele constituency came to tell the whole of Ghana that about 5,000 people have gotten their names out of the register and that he was taking the EC to court. I mean, for us as New Patriotic Party, we've always supported an arrangement that will ensure that you have free and fair electoral process. So that is up to them. Our party days have been advised to ensure that our interests in all the polling stations are protected. Party members will have their names checked in all the exhibition centers, and it's urge our members to go out and check by themselves.
Yeah, let me ask you, Mr. Mensah. Did the MPP know about the EC's replacement of duplicate ID cards that we saw in the video that circulated? Did you know about it at the district offices?
I have no idea about it. I've seen the video, but what I'm aware is that the EC put in something that is the defense that in some places they realized that they were duplicates. They tried to work it out.
Yes, and so the statement that the issue
tomorrow,
exactly
when they call for the IPAC meeting, the New Patriotic Party will honor the invitation. But my brother, the NDC will continue to run. We will ignore their noises because just a mere exhibition
they tell us that Mr. Mahama has cut short his campaign in Bunahapo. The running mate is returning from Central Region. The underlying reason is that they've run out of resources, their campaign is not exciting, and they don't have message for the people of Ghana. And so they should go ahead. We, the New Patriotic Party, we are rallying our support behind another Danko Kufuado, and you know that the good people of Ghana will give it the second mandate.
I mean, final question. You say you're not aware of that video, but in the statement that the EC issued, they say that during the Just Enter registration exercise, few centers experienced the production of duplicate ID cards, and it led to the printing of voter ID cards with similar numbers for different persons. The Commission is therefore replacing the duplicate cards for the affected persons, which is what you saw in the video, that this was legitimate and was backed and authorized by the Commission. I mean, you say you didn't know about it, but isn't the process that you should be in this particular district offices where the cards are being issued out, just for transparency's sake?
No, exhibition started last Friday, and that is where the party has been monitoring. I think the other issue is administrative, where they used to realize that there have been some duplicates, decided to put in internal mechanisms to correct them. And so we saw the publication by the EC. In the same way, the NDC parliamentary candidate and president candidate for Ashama constituency came out to tell the whole of Ghana that his name has been taken out of the register. The EC came to let the whole Ghana know that was false. And I'm saying that the NDC will not stop at this. And so for us, we will monitor the register as where it has to be at the exhibition center in all the 33,000 and over polling stations. And that is exactly what we are doing.
Okay.
When we go to IPAC tomorrow, you present our views to the EC and seek address. Mind you, it's the CI 91, CI 126, CI 127, and the 1992 Constitution. And this can go on to make their rantings. We ignore their annoyances, and we know that we are using our energies to support Nana President Guado's government.
Well, tomorrow the NDC has said they will be part of the IPAC meeting. They'll put their issues forward. They also expect the flag bearer to also speak to it. I'm grateful, Mr. Nemako, grateful to you also. The Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Peter Boamo Tokono. Isn't it amazing when your network cares about you so much so that they do amazing things for you? You guessed it. I'm talking about the Vodafone cash dropping all charges when you send money to all networks. Yes, you heard it right. It costs nothing, absolutely nothing, when you send money via Vodafone cash to all networks. Just send any amount as many times as you want to any network and pay zero charges on the money sent. So go ahead, make payments, show your love, make contributions, send money all you want via Vodafone cash to all networks for free. Just dial *110# to send cash for free. Are you ready?